But like that plane of zero divisors in H3, it ought to correspond to like what, like C direct some direct, you know, like C cross zero. That should be somehow corresponding to the, you know, A B C such that what? A plus B plus C equal to 0, right?
Yeah.
And the
If it's complex is 0.
the 0 across the reals should correspond to the set like AAA, such that A is a real on the right. So we can make this a little bit more. I mean, this is, what is this? This is A times 1 plus J squared, I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is actually the one that's kind of more fun, because this says that phi of 0A should be equal to A times 1 plus J squared, right?
Hmm.
But I mean, I don't remember right off, like it took us a while to construct this isomorphism. I don't know if it's in the paper or not, but you can work on it, like try to find the isomorphism.
Okay.
From H3 to like, you know,
C cross R.
C cross R. I mean, this is a choice. The other thing that's fun is finding the formula for the inverse of a 3 hyperbolic number. Because you can calculate the inverse of that 3 by 3 matrix.
Yeah, it's inverted.
It's not pretty, but it can be done.
Isn't it? We don't have a formula?
Yeah. Now, finally, last thing here before I completely run out of time. The conjugates I told you about.
Yeah.
So here's what they look like. X plus jy plus j squared z conjugate 1. First conjugate. I actually don't have a good notation for this yet. That's x minus jy plus j squared z.
Yeah. And then the second one would be minus minus.
Nope.
Okay.
Like that. And as you go on in that paper, I carefully define what I mean by partial zeta, and then partial zeta bar 1. I guess, yeah. And partial zeta bar 2. And I show that if you set this equal to 0, and if you set that equal to 0, these two conjugate derivatives vanishing is equivalent to the Cauchy Riemann equations we have over here.
Yeah.
So that's also in this introduction paper if you go on. It is unfortunately not the case that the product of like partial zeta and partial zeta bar works out to anything particularly nice. It just doesn't. I wish it did. Another thing you can look for in constructing the isomorphism is like somehow you have to map. You can try going the other way, right? You can try going from here over to H3, and there the thing becomes, how do you construct the unit J, the thing that's cubes 1?
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know if I have the answer to this in the paper or not. I've forgotten.
It'll be fun to figure out.
Of course, we have many more examples to investigate, but that's kind of where we are. I hope you don't mind me. I'm going slightly slow compared to like what I sometimes do in these sorts of meetings. But I think it's important because you haven't had complex and you haven't had abstract 2. So if I just plow through it and say, oh, you figured this out, like it's not. It's important that we learn some of that stuff while we're doing it
Yeah.
to make this most meaningful.
I think it's also unfair that we don't have that at our schools, either of those classes.
I'll teach them.
Yeah. We'll see how the spring lines up. Because the only things I have planned are 2 computer classes in modern physics.
I see.
But Dr. Johnson has not emailed me back for the lab assistant position. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be doing Zoom meetings this weekend. And he never emailed me back.
Well, maybe you should email Giles again
Okay.
and say, Dr. Cook said I should email you to ask if I could have a job.
I told her once and she was just like, do the work study. But I can't get my FAFSA to go through.
Guess I should stop the video. Sorry. All this personal information.